Hi, one of my friends requested me to send him pictures of the game I was working on, but I don't think sending a picture of a game is like, hey, I'm working on this movie. Hey, can you send me a picture of that movie so I can understand? It doesn't really work, you know? So instead I'm recording a video, and pretty much this is all going to go in an episode one of creating a game in C++, I think. And mm, oh, I Yeah, okay, let's reload. I know why this happened, but okay, that was like instant. So yeah, I've been working on a game for about 40 hours at most, and as you can see here, it's RS2D, and if I launch it, it's gonna look pretty much exactly like a RuneScape, but it's in 2D. And there's no content yet, but I've added everything that's like the base, the foundation of the game. Here there's a black tile that's intentional. I put it black because that's where the player is, but since there's no player, I wanted to know where I was so that I could test the zoom in feature, and it works beautifully. And yeah, you you can zoom out as far as you can. I could do a demo with more chunks. I'll do a demo with more chunks after, and I'll explain a bit on how I did this. But as I said, I'm going to make a separate video on explaining this, and I set up some logic to move. And if I move far enough, I set it up to only move one tile per click right now, so it's terrible. As you can see, that's my position in the chunk. So when I hit 64, that's the end of the chunk, and boom. Um, it goes from 1, 0, and then bloop. Then you can see that loads and that unloads. And there's no lag line really, which is amazing because there used to be one, but somewhere in the video that's going to be coming out soon, you can see how I made it not lag. Of course, the answer is threads. It's always threads if you don't want lag. And yeah, I really like the the fact that you can zoom in super close and you can see the textures. And yeah, if it kind of breaks if you if you try to really push it. Now they start moving, and yeah, I mean it's a 32-bit float, so it can't be that precise. But if you yeah now it's broken, then you can I was gonna say you can slowly zoom out, but that was pretty fast. Um, as you can see, the map here, it's like one. It seems like it's 1 pixel per tile, and it kind of is. Um, but I won't go into too much detail. But so far, that's what I've done. I've also added a moving mechanic like this. But I just realized that if I do that and then I click here, I'm moving the other way. But that's like a one-liner to change that. But pretty much what happens is that, like if you're facing north and you want to go west, you do that. If you want to go east, you do that. But no matter where you're facing, if you click to the right, you're going east. So I could change that, but anyway, realistically, once there's a player in the game, which is gonna be very soon, that's probably my next thing is to add a player in the game and make it move where I click and try to add a pathfinding algorithm. But the pathfinding is gonna be really complicated because I don't have the tiles set up. This is just a texture. Well, it's multiple textures. Every tile, well, it's a tile set. So yeah, but I don't have any information on what is a wall and what's not a wall. But anyway, I'll implement a star and I'll put a few obstacles in the way, and maybe even just do something like if it's blue, just assume you can't go through or something to test it over like a larger scale. Because putting walls manually, you have to understand that the amount of tiles you see right here is about 37,000. 37,000 tiles. I'm not coloring those manually. I made a tool that colors those, and if you want to see how big we can go with this, five. Yeah, I'm gonna. Five is already long enough. It takes a long time to load like thousands and thousands of tiles, and now that the chunk radius is 5, that's it's 121 chunks being loaded. They all have 4.1k tiles. There's so many files being read right now. It's fucking incredible. And it only takes a few seconds. So, of course, you would never play on such a render distance. This is ridiculous. But technically, you could. You could. Um, but you pretty much see like you can see the entire map, like nearly. I know this is not even half of the entire map. If you want a reference, here I have map no raids div 4, which is what I used to generate the texture. Let's go and edit. What we see right now is probably about it's something like that, right? So it's not even half the map, and I didn't check if it stops at White Wolf Mountain, but it probably stops close. Yeah, stops right about at the Druidic Circle here. So we're covering about a quarter of the map, and it loaded in a few seconds, but there's no point to load more than that, and realistically, the game will probably be set at render distance 2, and I need to set up still a way for it to what am I saying? I need to set up a way so that you can, when you launch the game, it slowly renders more and more. So it launches nearly immediately, but you only see your middle chunk, and then it renders more and more. And so if you want to see the chunks moving, yeah, as you can see, it's really smooth, right? It didn't like stop for just a few seconds here. Pay attention. I'm gonna click, see how long it takes, and there's no lag. I can keep moving. I'm moving, and then it switches, and it didn't lag, and that is the magic of threads, and I love it. And then I can go back over. There we go. So yeah, everything is working exactly as I expected, which is freaking amazing. And I'm gonna start to add some content to the game because there's nothing in. Gonna be making some videos, hopefully, if I manage to stick to this project. It's gonna be quite hard to actually spend a lot of time on this. It's like making a game is really time consuming, and right now I have a job, and soon it's the next semester starting. Okay, wow, I made it crash apparently. Maybe I was going a bit fast there, but I think because what happens is probably just I deleted a thread I deleted a chunk as I was drawing it, but yeah, it's not too bad. Like that's probably the type of bug that I can replicate, especially if I just change for example, if I go here, I can change to move like 10 tiles every time I click, and so I can create many bugs very fast, and then I can check if the thread is actually working fine. So my guess is if I click as fast as I can right now, it's gonna hit an exception really quickly, but I have to wait for it to load. I think it could already click, and it registers the clicks or something, but that'd be pretty stupid because I could click so many times and it would lag out for sure. Kind of disappointing on how long it takes to load 121 chunks, but it's kind of to be expected. So let's see. Actually, the problem is probably if I did this. Okay, I think there's a problem with the minimap. Oh no, never mind. The minimap is fine. What am I saying? There's a problem with the map. So one thing is it's kind of lagging behind, but of course it's lagging behind. Do you see what I'm doing? Like it's terrible. It's terrible. You should never do that. So in in real situations, I don't think it's gonna lag behind if you're running at normal speed, which is like 3 tiles per second. Um, that was more like 100 tiles per second. So yeah, it fucked up. But yeah, gonna try to make videos every now and then about the game, but I won't be making too many because right now like I haven't even made a video, and pretty much everything is complete for me to add some features into the game. And I could have made a video way earlier, but it's gonna be already so hard to decide what I put in a video and what I don't. And I don't really want to make like hundreds of videos on this for no reason. So I'd like to keep them kind of scoped or precise. And yeah, around maybe around 1 hour per video. It has to be at least 1 hour because I already coded for close to 40-50 hours, and now I'm about to spend many hours just editing the video and figuring what I should put in probably. So it's just gonna be nice to see it as a kind of time lapse of building the game. Uh, Nothing really educational. Like you can see the code anyway. It's on my GitHub. Let me. It's this is my GitHub, and so you can go in repositories and yeah, it's SFMLRS2D. I just pushed down master, and it's exactly this version. So technically, you could figure it out. And all you have to do is install SFML, and then you have to go. Pretty much, I could show my. You have to run the Python scripts. You have to run compressor and then chunker and texture. Well, compressor first, and then these two individually. It doesn't matter. I should put that in the README. I'm going to. And you also need this, which is in my git ignore, I think. Wait, okay, so it's okay, yeah, there it is. So it is in my git ignore, but it might already be on Git, but I don't think it is. But anyway, I'm not changing this, and so the project should be set up so that it grabs this properly. So hopefully it works for everyone. And you do need to go in debug and put the DLLs in there, which I think you can find in SFML bin. Yeah. So I'm gonna put that in the README as well, and I'm gonna probably ask my friend to try it. But anyway, if anyone wants to try it and tell me if it's working, like if you pretty much it should work. All you have to do is run the Python script. You run compressor and then these two. One of them takes about 40 minutes, but you can edit them if you want to not run like everything at once. Because pretty much what it does is it goes for every chunk. But if you want to just load like a Lumbridge, for example, to start with, you could just go and, for example, in the code here in main, this is the position. This is chunk 18, tile 20, and chunk 13, tile 37. That's where I spawn. So if you just want to run it on cx equals 18, cy equals 13 here, you can just replace this by like 18, and you replace that with brackets 13, and it's gonna work. Well, actually, I think yeah, you know, like this. I think there was a second one there, but obviously that doesn't belong. And yeah, that's going to generate everything you need if you do that, and you can then try it, and then you just have to put the DLLs inside the debug folder here, because without these DLLs, you can't execute the application. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, I'm just gonna write it more detailed in the README, and I'm gonna end the video here because at this point I'm pretty much just rambling. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the following videos, and as well as this one, I guess.